Hare Krishna, is everybody able to see my video on the screen also?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Namaskaram. Yes,
Namaskar.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Okay, wonderful. So today we are going to start with chapter 1 and what are the characteristics of pure devotional service. Is my video also on?
No, Mataji, video is not.
That's what.
No. 1 second, I am checking. No. Mataji, you are log out, huh? Okay. Oh, you log in different. Okay, Mataji, it's now showing.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Okay. So today we'll see what are the characteristics of pure devotional service. So actually there are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service, which are kleshagni, okay, relief from material distress. So what are the use? Like what will happen if you do pure devotional service, right? So kleshagni, you will get relief from material distress. Shubhada means it is bestowing. Shubhada means shubha, auspicious. So it is bestowing all auspiciousness. Sadhana bhakti fully manifested at Nishta. Okay, and next third, what happens? Moksha lagutha krit. So it derides happiness of liberation. Generally, what do we think? We think the liberation is the ultimate for us, right? So that is the ultimate happiness. But it is beyond that. That's what they're saying. Okay. Next to Durlabha, it is very rarely achieved. So Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti is very rarely achieved. Next is Sandrananda Visheshatma. So the happiness is Sandrananda. It is like bliss, too much of happiness. Like what is the ultimate happiness? So it is impenetrable, condensed bliss, distinctive to the nature of the self. Those in pure devotional service deride even the conception of liberation. And the last one is Sri Krishna Akarshini. So it attracts pure devotional service, it attracts Krishna. So that is Prema Bhakti, last stage. Okay. So these are the 6. And today we will just see only the first 2, Kleshagni and Shubhada. Okay. Because there's a lot of points to be covered in Kleshagni and Shubhada, and remaining all are like very little finished in a little amount of time. So I thought today we just focus on these first 2. Okay. So actually, before we start the PPT, Prabhupada's purport in Nectar of Devotion, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Kapila Deva, he instructs his mother about what are the characteristics of pure devotional service. Okay, so those who are pure devotees have no desire for material benefit or philosophical speculation. Okay, so devotees are not interested in gnana or karma kanda. Okay, gnana means what? Mental speculation. Karma kanda means what? Fruitive activities. They are not interested. So they have their minds so much engaged in my service that they're never. What is Krishna telling? The devotees have their minds engaged in Krishna's service so much that they're interested in asking Krishna for nothing. They don't want even Krishna. They want only Krishna's service. The devotees, they don't want to disturb even Krishna. So they just want Krishna's service. Okay, so what Kapila Deva is telling to his mother Devahuti, so that these devotees, they do not even want to live in my kingdom. They don't want to live along with me. Okay, so and then he tells that there are 5 kinds of liberation. So you all must be knowing the 5 kinds of liberation: Sarshti, Sayujya, all those you must be knowing, right? So what are they? So one is to become one with the Lord. The first liberation out of the 5 is the to become one with the Lord, to live with the Supreme Lord on the same planet, to have the same features as the Lord, to enjoy the same opulences as the Lord, and to live as a companion of the Lord. So these are the 5 liberations which the devotee forget about material, forget about jnana, karma. Devotees are not interested in liberation. These 5 kinds of liberation also they are not interested. Okay. So he's simply satisfied. Devotee is simply satisfied by discharging devotional service to the Lord. Okay. So this is the characteristic of pure devotion. So Rupa Goswami, he states that there are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service that we saw, right? What is that is Kleshagni. So Kleshagni means what? Pure devotional service brings immediate relief from all kinds of material distress. So that is one of the reason, right? Why we want to come up. We have so much distress, pain, suffering in this material world. We want to come out of that. So that's why we are doing bhakti, right? One of the reasons. That is not the only reason. We want relief from material distress, right? So one of the characteristics is that. Next, Shubhada, what will happen if you do devotional service? Is the beginning of all auspiciousness. Okay, it brings auspiciousness. Next, Sandrananda, pure devotional service automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. So it gives so much happiness. Sandrananda means. Next, what is the next 4th characteristic? It is Sudurlabha. So pure devotional service is very rarely achieved. So it's very difficult to get pure devotional service. So many of us, are practicing Mishra Bhakti. We want material and as well as spiritual both. Okay, when we initially come into Krishna Bhakti, we come with the material desires. Krishna, you give me this, I will do this for you. Right? We come with some material desire, but nobody wants to do only do service just to please Krishna. Right? Like that. So this is Sudurlabha. And next 5th is Moksha Laguta Krit. So those in pure devotional service deride even the concept of liberation. They are not even interested in liberation. Okay, Moksha Laguta Krit. And last is Sri Krishna Akarshini. So pure devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. Okay, so what are they trying to say? Krishna is all attractive, but pure devotional service attracts him. Okay, so this means that pure devotional service is more stronger than Krishna himself. Okay, so we have to understand the importance of devotional service. It is more important than Krishna himself. Okay, so first we'll see about Kleshagni. Okay, relief from material distress. Why is it that we get distress? Srila Rupa Goswami, he says that we get distress because of our past life and present life sinful activities. Okay, so that is the main reason you have to understand. See, there's a lot of content in this. Please try to focus, and wherever needed, please stop me and try to get your doubts. I mean, try to get your doubts. Like understood. Okay, so there are a lot of points. So very important points for us, because a nectar of devotion is very important for us. Many points to be learned. Okay, so he says that why do we get distress? Okay, we get distress because of our past life and present life sinful activities. And why does one commit sinful activities? Because he is in ignorance. Okay, because he doesn't know what is right and what is wrong. He thinks in his ignorance that whatever he is doing is right. Okay, but ignorance is of no excuse. So you can't say, right? For example, if there is a person who murdered a person, and he said, "Please forgive me. I didn't know this was such a big crime." So will he be forgiven, even if he knows or without knowing he did a crime? So he will be punished, right? So because he says that I don't know this is crime, they won't excuse him, right? So they will punish him. So like that, ignorance is no excuse, right? So sinful activities are of 2 kinds. Okay, sinful activities are of 2 kinds. One is that those that are mature, and second is not those that are not mature. Okay, this what is mature meaning? the sinful activities for which we are suffering at the present moment, they are called mature. See, we are experiencing pain, trouble. So that distress is called mature. Means the result you can see you are facing at the present moment. So that is called mature. And what is immature? The sinful activities that are stored for us, but still they have not come out. They are yet to come. They are in line. Okay, so which we have not yet suffered, but they are in line. They are ready to be matured, but they are not yet. They're just in line, not yet mature. They are called immature. And how can we see the mature sinful activities? How are the which we are, mature means what we are experiencing at present. So how can we know that these are mature mature sinful activities? So mature sinful activities are exhibited if one is suffering from how some chronic disease, if one is suffering from some legal implication, if one is born in a low or a degraded family, or if one is uneducated, or if one is ugly. So these are some of the symptoms of matured sinful activities. Okay, they come in the form of the mature sinful activities, come in any one of these forms. Okay, you may be having a court dispute, you may be having some chronic disease, or you may look ugly, you may be uneducated, you may be born in a very low family. Okay, all these. Okay, so there. Okay, so there are many results of past sinful activities for which we are suffering at the. See, what we are suffering now is the sinful activities that we have done in the past, right? That they are getting fructified now, and we are able to see them at the present. Okay, so these are the matured, which we have done in the past, we are able to see now at present. Okay. But what is Rupa Goswami saying? All of these reactions to these sinful deeds can immediately be stopped if we take to Krishna consciousness. How simple, right? All our sinful activities, mountains and mountains of sinful activities that we have done in our past janmas, this janma, can be eradicated just by taking to Krishna consciousness. So Lord Krishna, he says to Uddhava, my dear Uddhava, see, devotional service, see, when you do it to me, it's like a blazing fire. It can burn to ashes all the sinful activities. See, if there's a blazing fire, and the more fuel you pour to it, the more it blazes, more it turns into ash fast. So, like that, the blazing fire of Krishna consciousness, if you put all these sinful activities, the more sinful activities you put, all will be burned to ashes. Okay, so powerful is Krishna consciousness. Okay, so it can burn all the fuel of sinful activities. See, for example, in the Gita, see, Arjuna thought that fighting was a sinful activity because he's killing so many lives are lost, uh, right? And everybody, he says that the head of the family will be killed, and children will become wives will become widow, the children will have nobody to guide them properly, all the traditions will be lost, pindadana won't be done. So all this he was telling, right? So it is like fighting is a sinful activity, he says. But later on, when Krishna convinced him on the order of Krishna, he fought. So fighting here became a devotional service. He's not fighting for his sense gratification to get the kingdom. So he's fighting on the order of Krishna. So it becomes devotional service. So Arjuna, he was not subjected to any simple reactions because he fought on the order of Krishna, not for his sense gratification. So he is not subjected to any karma, any simple reaction. Okay. And Krishna, Okay, so now Rupa Goswami, he says from Srimad Bhagavatam, actually Devahuti, she tells Kapila Dev, see, anyone who executes any one of the 9 devotional services. What are the 9 devotional services? Can anybody tell?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Please go ahead, Prabhuji.
Shravanam, Kirtaram,
Yeah,
Vishnusmaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam,
yeah,
Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam.
yeah. First is Kirtanam, and first one is,
Shravanam, Kirtanam,
yeah, correct.
Vishnusmaranam,
Yeah, yeah.
Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam.
Very well, wonderful, perfect, Prabhuji. Very nice. So these the Devahuti is telling Kapil Dev, see if anybody does any one of the 9 kinds of devotional service, even if he's born in a family of dog eaters. Dog eaters means what? They are the lowest of all. Who are eating dogs means you can understand they are the lowest grade of mankind. So even they become immediately qualified to perform sacrifices. See, generally, who does sacrifices? Only Brahmanas are allowed to do sacrifices. Okay, but this Chandala or a dog eater, if he, um, though he's born in a family of dog eaters, he can perform, he's qualified to perform sacrifice when he takes up to Krishna consciousness. And one more thing we should know, like, why is this person born in a family of dog eaters? Or a Brahmin is born in a Brahmin family, or a dog eater is born in a dog eater family. Why? It is because of his past activities. Right? So, if a person is born in a family of dog eaters, it means that his past activities were all sinful, right? Because he's born in such a degraded family, means he must have done so many sinful activities. But even if such a person takes to the path of devotional service and he begins to chant the holy names of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What happens? He is at once fit to perform the ritualistic ceremonies. Okay, what does this mean? So, this means that his sinful reactions have immediately become neutralized. Now he's fit to perform sacrifices just like a Brahmana, because he's purified by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. He all his sinful reactions have gone. Okay, so he is fit to perform sacrifices. So one who is engaged in Krishna consciousness and devotional service is without a doubt he becomes freed from all contaminations of material sinful activities. See, so how fortunate are we to be in this path of Krishna consciousness? Because of Prabhupada, we are so fortunate that we've come to know of Krishna consciousness, that we are so fortunate just by practicing Krishna consciousness. It's like Prabhupada and his disciples, they have taken the trouble of establishing ISKCON. They've undergone all the difficulties. Now we are so comfortably at our home. Now we are happily, we have all the books at home, all the speeches on YouTube you can hear, and everything. Like, we can just chant Hare Krishna sitting at home. So everything is at our comfort. All our acharyas, all Prabhupada and Prabhupada's disciples, they have taken the difficulty, everything. So they just given us everything, the result. That for that also we are finding it difficult. We find it difficult to chant. We find it difficult to read. We find it difficult to hear. We find it difficult to do seva. We fight with the devotees. We fight for positions in the temple. So we do all these things. Okay, see, they have given, Prabhupada has now, like, it's literally like he has opened the banana for us, peel for us, and he has put the banana into our mouth. But to chew that banana also, we are finding it difficult.
Golden spoon, Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhuji?
Golden spoon.
Correct, Prabhuji, yes. Yeah, he's given us everything, but still we are lazy. We don't want to, we don't, because we don't realize the importance. That's why we neglect. But once we know the importance, we become serious in bhakti. Okay. So that here we're talking about devotional service. It is so uh, uh, but so potent that it can just drive out all our sinful activities. At whatever kind of sinful activities are there, all kind of sinful activities, just by doing devotional service. Means the chanting is also one kind of devotional service. So they are trying to say when you chant also, you will get purified. All your sinful activities get nullified. But as usual, as a general, we know that a devotee, he is alert and he does not want to commit any sinful activities. Okay. So now let's see. Prabhupada writes in the purport that in Padma Purana, there are 4 kinds of effects due to sinful activities. Okay. What are they? Kuta, Kutam, Bija, Aprarabdha, and Prarabdha. Okay, these are the 4 things we have to know. Right? Kutam, Bijam, Aprarabdha, and Prarabdha. Let's see what Kutam is. See, Kutam is, it's the most subtle, I think it's given in the next page here. Yeah, so this one. Okay, so this is this reaction. Okay, so these are the 4 stages: Kutam, Bijam, Aprarabdha, and Prarabdha. So Kutam means what? It is in the most subtle stage. So see, sin exists in a I mean, like, see, if you do one sinful activity repeatedly, janma after janma, even without a knowledge, it is stored in the unconscious mind. We don't even know that it exists. Okay, only when that propensity to do, when we get that inclination, that situation to do, that unconscious thing comes into conscious thing. Okay, so it is in such a subtle way. For example, if you have that stealing intensity, for example, so you steal in every janma, you have that habit, but now it is not, you don't have that desire to steal. It is there somewhere. In subtle form, it is there, but it's not yet come out. Okay, because of many past lives, this has just become unconscious and it is stored there. See, it is not visible as a desire or reaction yet. Okay, it just lies hidden in the heart. Okay, it's just like a root of all sinful reactions. The kutam means it's the root. It is there but subtle, you can't see it as of now. Okay, so that is kutam. That tendency is there but you don't know it is there. It is so subtle. Next, bija means what? Bija means it's in the seed stage. Okay, now sin manifests it as an inclination. It comes out as a desire now. Based on the situation, that which is in the unconscious mind or wherever in the heart, it manifests now as a desire, depending on the situation. So when you get attracted towards some sinful or sense gratifying activity you want to do, then that desire comes out. So this person starts thinking of sinful acts. So that desire becomes active in the bija state. Okay. So in Kutam means what? It is there in the background. It is stored because of many janmas he has done, that the thing is stored. Bija means depending on the situation, the sinful desire comes out in the form of seed. Okay. So the desire becomes active. Now, aprarabdha means what? It is unmanifest reaction. See, you have done the sin, you have done the sin. Okay, but the reaction has not yet formed. So you still didn't get the suffering. Means you are in pipeline. You are sure to get this thing, the karma, but still it is in pipeline. It is still not visible right now. So it is stored karma waiting for the right time to fructify. Okay, so it is in pipeline but still not come out. That sinful activity to for us to what to what it is not yet reached us. So we are not yet in that stage of what do you say, experience that sinful activity. Okay, So that thing is that sinful activity is there in the pipeline, but it is not yet experienced. So aprarabdha means that. Okay. Next, prarabdha means what? You can see it. Okay. So we've discussed, right? A prarabdha means what we can see at present, the distress that we see at present. How can we see it? As disease or distress or misery, birth, death, old age, suffering. So whatever sufferings, that visible sufferings that we see in this life are prarabdha, are the sinful activities that we see at the present moment. So these are the four types of sinful activities. See, all these different kinds of sins can be eradicated totally by engaging in devotional service to Lord Krishna. Okay, this kutam, bijam, prarabdha, aprarabdha, any kind of sinful activities, any kind of sins that we have done through these four kind can be totally eradicated just by doing devotional service to Lord Krishna. So we don't have to worry, oh my, what I have done so many sinful activities today, tomorrow, yesterday, but now after taking devotional service, all those sins are gone, are eradicated just by doing devotional service. So potent, so powerful is devotional service. Okay. So we understood, right, how material contamination is very subtle. So it is actually that sinful propensity in the first stage, in Kutam stage, is very subtle, right? We don't even know that it exists. It's there in us. But it ends in what? Prarabdha. Prarabdha means we get it in the form of sinful activities, either in the form of disease or distress, or we look ugly, uneducated, or we are born in a low family, like that. So we can see. So the contamination, we don't even know it exists. It's just so subtle in the Kutam stage. Okay. See, when somebody catches some disease, see, we don't know the cause of the disease. So where it has come from and how it is going to further progress, we don't know. Okay, the suffering of a disease does not appear all of a sudden. Any disease, just does not come all of a sudden. It takes some time, right? But for precaution's sake, what does a doctor do when we go to a doctor? He gives a vaccination, right, to prevent that contamination. Okay, to so that the disease that has started, to further stop that, he gives some vaccination, he gives some prevention, right? So like that, what is the injection to stop all the fructification of the seeds of our sinful activities? Is simply to engage in Krishna consciousness. That is the vaccination for us. Okay, just engage in Krishna consciousness, devotional service. That's it. Very simple thing. See, for example, if you see the story of Ajamila, he is a dutiful Brahmana. Nicely, he was doing all his Brahmanical duties. But later, what happened? He saw a prostitute and he succumbed to that prostitute. And at the end of his wicked life, what happened? Because he was earlier doing, he was a Brahmana and he was practicing, he was doing japa of Narayana. He gave his son the name Narayana. And at the end of his life, he was calling, just because he was calling his son, whatever, he called out the name Narayana. He was saved despite he did so much sin, right? He was given one more chance by the Vishnu Dutas, right? Just by calling out Narayana, all his sins were gone. He was given a second chance. So powerful is devotional service. Okay, so we have to understand this. All the rest of his life, he was doing sin, Ajamila. But just by calling one time Narayana, all his sin got eradicated and he got a second chance to correct himself. Okay, so Sukadev Goswami, he's trying, Manchneela, is trying to tell that austerity, charity, and the performance of so we may sometimes we've seen a nectar of instruction these points. I hope all of you remember. We thought that, see, if you do austerity or charity, or if you do ritualistic ceremonies, okay, so if we do all these austerities or charity or ritualistic ceremonies per the Vedas, we cannot counteract sinful activities. Okay, so these are generally the recommended process for purification, but they cannot remove the sinful seed, the desire, that sinful desire, the seed from the heart, they can't remove. Like Ajamila, he had that desire, right, as a youth. So that desire could not be removed. So that sinful desire can be removed only by practicing Krishna consciousness. See, if you want to just what you say, nullify or compensate, you can do austerity, charity, and all these ritualistic activities that are mentioned in the Vedas. So they may nullify, but they don't kill the propensity. See, there is a chance that you will do these sinful activities again. Then what is the use? Again, you will do price chitta. But that desire to do sinful activities, that should be destroyed, right? What is the use? Again, you are doing prayaschitta, again, you are committing sinful activities, again, you are doing prayaschitta, or is of no use, right? Through these processes. So you have to remove that desire to perform sinful activity. That seed itself you have to destroy. So that can be done only by Krishna consciousness, not by some austerity, charity, or performance of all these Vedic sacrifices and everything. Okay. So just by chanting, and we can do this very easily in Kali Yuga just by chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So here they're saying that unless one adapts the path of devotional service, he cannot be 100% clean from all the reactions of sinful activities. Okay, so if you perform Vedic ritualistic activities like giving money in charity, undergoing austerity, so one can temporarily become free from the reactions. You may be doing prayaschitta, you may be temporarily relieved from all your sinful activities, but again, the next moment he becomes engaged in sinful activities. Again, he will do the same thing. It's like we've seen that example, right? In the church, the Christians, they go to the church, they confess every week. One day they go and confess. Again, next day, the whole week they do sinful activities. Again, they come and confess. So, what is the use of such confession and such prayaschitta and doing the same thing? The thing is, we have to remove the sinful desire from the heart itself. That can be done practically only by devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Okay, so one more example Prabhupada gives, like, see, for example, a person is suffering from disease on account of excessive indulgence in sex life. So he's more involved in all these illicit sex life. So now, because of which he has got some disease, because of in excessive indulgence in sex life. Okay, so he has to undergo some severe pain in medical treatment. So after undergoing so much pain in the treatment, then he's maybe cured for the time being. But because he has not been able to remove the sex desire from his heart, what will he do? He will again feel like doing and going and doing the same thing again. So by doing that same thing again the disease will come back. So medical treatment may give temporary relief from the distress of that disease, but unless he stops that illicit sex life, it is impossible for him to save him from such repeated distress. Okay, so like that main thing is he has to stop that illicit sex life. The treatment is not the thing. Treatment may cure him for temporarily, but uh, if again he starts doing the same thing again, that disease will come back again, right? So he has to stop doing that. So like that, see, these ritualistic performances, charity, austerity, so they all are recommended in the Vedas. They are recommended processes, sure, definitely, but they temporarily stop one from acting in sinful ways. Okay, temporarily, it's like a prayaschitta. They will stop you temporarily. But as long as the heart is not clear, it is impure. So one will have to repeat sinful activities again and again. Okay, you will be purified from your heart only when you do devotional service or practice Krishna consciousness. Okay, so one more example in Srimad Bhagavatam, we all know, we've read in Nectar of Instruction. It's the example of the elephant. See, the elephant, it goes, the Mahot, he takes him to the lake and easily scrubs him and he nicely gives him a wonderful bath in the lake. But what does the elephant do? As soon as it comes back to the shore, with its trunk, it takes the mud, the earth, and it nicely puts all the mud on his body. So then, what is the use of his taking bath? Okay. So similarly, a person who is not trained in Krishna consciousness, he cannot become completely free from sinful activities. So if you want to be free from sinful activities, you have to practice Krishna consciousness. Okay, and even now, not even the yoga process or philosophical, I mean, like this gnana or karma kanda can save you from the sinful desires. Okay, these fruitive activities or mental speculation cannot save you. Gnana karma. We've heard, right, in Nectar of Devotion, Gnana karma anavritam. What is that? Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. That is the bhakti uttama, highest bhakti. Okay. Even, yeah, Anyabhilashita Shunyam, Gnana Karmadi Anavritam, Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam Bhakti Ruttama. Okay, so what is the highest bhakti? It is, we have zero material desires and we are free even from gnana and karma. Gnana means mental speculation. Karma means fruitive activities, karma kanda. Okay, and what is the favorable to Krishna? We should practice Krishna consciousness favorably. Anukulyena Krishnanusilanam. Right? We should follow Krishna consciousness favorably, not like Kamsa. We should follow like the gopis or like the Vrajavasis. Anukulyena. That is highest bhakti. Okay. So only by being engaged in devotional service can these sinful activities be removed. Okay. And see, now we'll understand why we remain bound in material life and how Krishna consciousness frees us very easily. So, in the purport, we see that Prabhupada writes about Sanat Kumar. Like Sanat Kumara, he says that there is this false ego is very strong. See, because of this false ego only, we think that I am this body. Okay, this world is meant for my enjoyment. I am independent. You think she is my he is my husband, she is my wife, my children, my everything should be good, my society should be good, my family should be good, my relatives should be good, I want to enjoy, so everything should will be around I, my society, my country, my nation, like that. Okay, so because we are on this bodily platform, this false ego we have, because of this false ego, the living entity remains tied in this material existence, just like a person tied with a strong rope. See, we are tied up with the three gunas, sattva, rajo, tama guna, in this material world. Tightly we are tied. See, if a person is tied, see, if, there is a man, his hands are tied, his legs are tied. How can he be freed if he's tied? He can't free himself, right? Person who is tied, he cannot free himself. And there's one more person who's tied beside him. He also cannot free. So who can free him whose hands are not tied? Right? So this means that what? That comparing this to intelligence, austerity, or effort, that is not enough. Okay, so who can come whose hands are not tied? Who are they? Only devotees can cut this knot very easily. So Sanat Kumar is clearly saying only devotees can cut this knot very easily. Why? Because devotees engage in Krishna consciousness. And others, what do? Why they cannot be freed? Because they become great mystics, they perform rituals, practicing severe austerities. Yogis, what do? They practice siddhis, anima, lagima, all those. Nanis, what do? Mental speculation. Okay, Ashtanga yogis, what they want perfection. They do all these Ashtasiddhi, whatever those exercises, and they want to attain perfection. They meditate on the super soul, right? So they do all these rituals, great mystics, and everything. Okay, but a devotee engages in Krishna consciousness. That is why his sinful acts, sin can be removed from the seed. Okay, it's just not by when you do dhyana yoga or gnana yoga or ashtanga yoga, all these cannot help. Okay, see, all these people, they are not in Krishna consciousness. That is why they cannot advance like devotees. Okay, so what we should understand is everyone should be engaged in Krishna consciousness if they want to be free from material bondage. And the main thing we have to understand, what is the root cause is ignorance. Okay, see, Prabhupada, he explains that this false ego comes from ignorance. So ignorance means what? Not knowing who I really am. See, we think we are this body, but we are not this body. We are soul. Okay, we are forgetting that I'm the eternal servant of Krishna. So what is our Swarupa? Jivera Swarupa hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. We are we forgot that we are the eternal servants of Krishna. Actually, we are created to serve Krishna, to please Krishna. That is our swabhava. When we serve Krishna, then we'll be happy. We forgot all that. So, as long as a person is ignorant, obviously he will act wrongly, he will commit sinful activities. So, he will become entangled in this material contamination. Okay, so he may think it is right for at the present, but in his ignorance, whatever he is doing, everything is leading to wrong actions. Okay, all this ignorance is destroyed by Krishna consciousness. So this ignorance cannot be controlled or adjusted. It must be totally destroyed. Okay, we are in the ignorance that we are this body. So that has to be cut off. We have to understand body is different, soul is different. So we are the soul, we are not this body. Okay. So in Padma Purana, it is said that pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness is the highest enlightenment. So it is so powerful that it destroys ignorance completely. See, it's like a blazing forest fire. Okay, see when yeah, if you've seen, especially in the America, I think I've seen once. We were traveling, so we could see immediately. I mean, like the fire spread throughout the forest. All the trees caught fire, and there was so much. What do you say? You can say all those fumes, right? Black fumes and everything. All of a sudden, it was because it's hot, uh, all of a sudden, because of that rubbing of the leaves or whatever, but the fire, it has come up. So in such a forest blazing, it just gets ignited very fast, it just spreads very fast. So in that forest, what I mean, like the I mean, like here they're trying to say that there may be in the forest there may be snakes, there'll be different animals, everything. But what snakes are on the ground, so there's every chance that it can't escape, right? The four-legged animals, maybe there are chance they can run and they can escape, but snakes are on the ground and there's no chance for them to escape this fire. And what do these snakes represent? Ignorance and sinful desires. See what happens when a forest fire comes, it burns all the dried leaves, The snakes are immediately killed. Okay, animals with four legs, they will try to run away, but snakes cannot escape. So here, similarly, what are they trying to compare? External problems may sometimes be avoided. So we may ignore all the external problems, but ignorance and simple desire cannot survive Krishna consciousness. So they are destroyed. So when you take to Krishna consciousness, even that ignorance and that simple desire from start will be destroyed. How important, right? We are all in ignorance actually. Just by taking to Krishna consciousness, that ignorance is cut off. That simple desire is cut off. When we know that we are not this body, we are the soul. In that ignorance we are there, right? We think that we are this body, and that's why we try to give all comforts to this body. We try to color our hair. We don't want to show off our old age. We try to put makeup on our face. We don't want to show old age. Okay, what not we do to maintain this body, right? To look beautiful, to look young. We do so much. But Prabhupada, he used to, I mean, like ladies who used to get ready by coloring their hair or making it brown, whatever colors. In America, Western side, we see, right, different purple, brown, orange, whatnot colors they put. And if they put nail polish, Prabhupada used to call them Surpanaka. Okay, compared them. So that's why Prabhupada said, Prabhupada, he never used to have a mirror in front of him. He just used to put this small mirror just to put tilak, that's all. And that one time he used to look into when he was putting the tilak, that's all. He never had a mirror, he never looked into himself like that in a big mirror like all of us. He just had that small mirror just for putting the tilak, that too once. Okay. So what are they trying to say is in this false ego binds us like a tight rope. Okay. So, and why is that the rope? Because of ignorance. That rope is tight, it is bound up to us because of ignorance. And ignorance, because of ignorance, what happens? Sinful action. Because in ignorance, we don't know what we are doing is right or wrong. And because of which we think we are doing right, but they're all sinful actions, because of which we get suffering. And so we have to understand mystic yoga or rituals cannot free us. As all of us, many people think that if we do karma kanda activities, gnana kanda activities, we will be free. If we do this yagna, we will be free. Yes, you will be temporarily free, but that sinful propensity you will do again. So this is like a continuous process. Again you do prayaschitta, again you do a sinful activity, again you do prayaschitta. So for how long will you do this? So you have to remove that seed of sinful activity. That can be done only by Krishna consciousness. That's what they are saying. So by engaging in Krishna consciousness, what will happen? The knot of false ego is cut and the soul becomes free. Okay, so that is what we have to understand. So that is what, see here, the stage is there. You can see in the PPT, right? Avidya, because of avidya, because of ignorance, we are in false ego. So because of which we do all these sinful activities. We think we are doing everything correct, but indirectly we are doing all sinful activities, which gives to kutam, bija, papam. You do sinful actions. Aprarabdha means they are in pipeline. We still can't see unmanifest reactions. So prarabdha means manifest, and manifest means what? We can see the sufferings or distress that we are undergoing. Okay, so this is the same thing. So avidya, so bija, papa, klesha. The same thing is given here. Bija, papa, and klesha is what? The sufferings. Okay, so all this we have covered, right? Srimad Bhagavatam, everything. So next is Shubhada. Next, go to the second one. So first kleshas we saw, right? How we can come out of how by just performing devotional service, we can come out of any kind of sinful desires, any sinful acts that we have done in the past. be it in the seed form or even as subtle as in the kutam stage. Right? We can even remove that just by doing devotional service. All our sinful acts can be nullified. Okay, so that is the first one, Kleshagni. It can remove all our material distress, suffering, sinful acts, everything. Okay, next is Shubhada. Means Krishna consciousness is all auspicious. And what is Rupa Goswami says, what is actual auspiciousness? It means welfare activities for all the people of the world. Okay, that is auspiciousness. When you it's not when you do it for yourself it is auspicious. No, when you do it for them it is auspicious. No, when you do when it is benefiting everybody in the world, that is the main activity which brings auspiciousness, which is beneficial for everybody, all the people of the world. Okay, so see, at the present moment, groups of people, they are engaged in welfare activities in terms of what? Society, community, or nation. They even formed the United Nations, we've seen, right, to help people maintain that peaceful peace and everything. But what Prabhupada says, only the number of flags are increasing, but the wars are still going on. Okay, why that is happening? Because externally they are imposing many many laws, rules, all these things they are implementing, but internally the change of heart is not there. Prabhupada says that internal change of heart is not there, because externally they may be putting so many rules and regulations, they may be doing many politics and everything. They will be having that greed in externally they don't show, but they have all this. But when they practice Krishna consciousness or devotional service, their heart becomes purified. They think that we are all children of one father. Then that university that unity, that bhava comes in them, that we are all children of one father. So until that bhava comes, even though you bring India, China, Japan, or America, everybody, only flags keep increasing. Right? Internally, there's no change in their heart. Only externally, if you try to just put some rules and regulations and you try to bring United Nations peace, it's like they're saying, if you put, you bring so many 100 dogs and you put peace and love and you say all that, will it happen? 100 dogs you put in a one room, they'll be just barking. There'll be so much violence, right? So like that, the United Nations is like that now. They are saying peace, but there's no change in the heart, right? So that's why all these wars are still going on. Okay. So now we'll see what is real auspiciousness and why Krishna consciousness is the highest welfare activity for the whole world. And we'll also see, like in the Shubhada, what real good qualities are and why Krishna consciousness is essential to develop them. Okay, so we'll see what is real auspiciousness. Now, Rupa Goswami says that real auspiciousness means welfare activity. We said, like we discussed, right? It's for all the people of the world. See, auspicious, it does not mean just it benefits only me or my family or my community or my nation. Not like that. So, real auspiciousness means it is universal welfare. It should benefit everyone without any discrimination. Okay, so we've seen now let many that yeah, we've discussed all this, right? United Nations, everything there, welfare programs are limited. Why? Because they do it for political interests. Now you see here in Hyderabad and Telangana, are they really interested in the welfare of the people, that they split the nations into Telangana and Andhra? They split.
They
What
fought for their own interest, Mataji. They divided
yeah,
two states,
exactly.
Mataji.
Exactly. So they try to portray that outsidely they will try to show that it is for the people, but inside everybody knows that they've done it for their benefit. Okay, so these programs are like that. They do it for their political interests, their material designations, and all those. Okay, the welfare programs, they put all these at the time of elections, but once the elections are over, everything is gone. They just look for hoarding money from their side. It's just for their political interest and their identity and their material designation. They are interested. Okay. So true world welfare is not practically possible. Okay, it's like one nation's benefit becomes another nation's problem. See, one nation is benefiting, other nation, that could be a problem to another nation, right? So like that. So material welfare, it cannot solve the root problem of human suffering. So we'll understand now why Krishna consciousness is different. Okay, what Srila Prabhupada says is, by practicing Krishna consciousness can give the highest benefit to the human race. Why? Because this Krishna consciousness is not limited to a nation or a religion or a race or language. And everyone can be benefited, everybody can be attracted by this movement, feel its result personally. Why? Because Prabhupada is saying Krishna consciousness works on the soul. It just does not work on the body and the mind. Okay, so that's why, because of this universal benefit, so it's on the level of the soul, not on body or mind. So that's why everybody agrees, even Rupa Goswami and other learned scholars, they agree in one conclusion. What are they saying? Spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world is the highest humanitarian welfare activity. Why is it the highest welfare activity? Because it gives real happiness. It removes ignorance. It awakens love of God. It benefits everyone, not just one group. Okay. And Prabhupada also gives a proof from Padma Purana. Okay, in Padma Purana it says a person engaged in devotional service in full Krishna consciousness is doing the best service to the whole world and pleasing everybody. So this is a very strong statement from Padma Purana. So what does this mean? It means that a devotee does not have to separately try to help the society. Simply if he's practicing and spreading bhakti, he's serving all the living beings. Okay, he pleases everybody. Just by practicing bhakti and spreading bhakti, he's serving all the living beings. He pleases everybody. And in fact, Prabhupada says in his purport of Nectar Devotion, he says that this is beneficial not only for humans, it is beneficial even to animals and trees. Okay, so it is why is it attractive to even them? Because Krishna is the soul of all souls. So when Krishna is pleased, everyone is benefited. So this shows the completeness of Krishna consciousness. Okay, so with this we should understand why they become attracted to Krishna consciousness is because Krishna is the soul of all souls. So when he is pleased, everybody is benefited. So, and we've heard, right, in many stories, like how I just don't want to tell the complete story so that we save time. We've Durvasa Muni, we saw, right, he comes with his 50,000 disciples once when the Pandavas were in Vanavas, and Draupadi also has finished her eating, and Akshay Patra she washes and she puts it aside. Now, at that time, Durvasa Muni comes with his 50,000 disciples to have, he comes there to eat, to honor prasadam, he comes. So Yudhishthir says that, oh, thank you so much for coming to our house as guests. Please do your evening rituals. Then meanwhile, we'll just do the prasadam, everything. arrangements. And now they go to the river and they try to do all their rituals. Meanwhile, Draupadi says, how am I supposed to, because I've eaten, after I've eaten and it's sunset now, and I can't, I've washed everything, now I can't bring anything out from the Akshay Patra. And all were like confused. Now they pray to, Draupadi prays to Krishna. So Krishna comes and he says, okay, Draupadi, bring that pot, Akshay Patra that you had, you bring it. There must be some rice somewhere. She says, no, Krishna, there is nothing. I've cleaned everything over. No, you bring once I see. And then he finds one small rice grain and he just eats that grain. There now, because he Krishna eats it and he's satisfied, all the Durvasa Muni and all his 50,000 disciples who were there in the river performing the rituals, they were also satisfied. They were like, ugh. They became so full that they were, once we are full, what happens? We get that burp sound, right? They were so full that they were not even able to stand properly. Okay, now they were wondering, what is this? I mean, like, we are so full, and now they are seeing Bhima is coming. Now Krishna says, Bhima, you go and call all of them for having prasadam. So Bhima says, okay. Bhima is like very obedient. He never asks, how Krishna, no prasadam, nothing. He doesn't question. He knows, he has confidence in Krishna. He says, Krishna says, and that's it. Bhima follows. Bhima started going to the river to call them, to call Durvasa Muni. Now Durvasa Muni and all his disciples, they were scared. Oh, seeing Bhima, they know Bhima's strength. And now Bhima, they must have prepared for 50,000 people. Oh, now if we don't eat, we are so full. Because Krishna had, they also became full. Okay, they also became satisfied. Now they can't even take one morsel, one grain also they can't take. Now they got scared seeing Bhima. And they couldn't even walk properly. They were rolling on, rolling, and they started running away, seeing Bhima. So, like that, if you satisfy, if Krishna is satisfied, everybody is satisfied. Okay. And one more example is like Lord Chaitanya. If any of you must have read that Chaitanya Charitamrita or heard this pastime, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is passing through the Jharikanda forest, I mean, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu basically came into this world to spread the Sankirtana movement, the chanting of the holy names. So he was doing his duty. So he was chanting, he was doing Sankirtana in the Jharikand forest. So what happened? All the tigers, elephants, the deers, and other wild animals, they also joined in the chanting. They were also dancing. They forgot their enmity. The deer and the tiger were dancing together. So they forgot that they are enemies. Everybody, the tiger, deer, elephants, everyone, they were chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. So this proves that Krishna consciousness creates harmony even in nature. Okay, so what is Rupa Goswami saying that uh, um, real auspiciousness means universal welfare. So material welfare, like what the United Nations are doing, that is just limited and it is temporary. Okay, but what are the benefits of Krishna consciousness? It benefits the individuals, it benefits the society, the whole world, even animals and trees. Okay, so therefore, spreading Krishna consciousness is the highest, purest, and most complete welfare activity. So, when Krishna is made the center, everybody is automatically benefited. This is true auspiciousness. Okay, and in this Shubhada, this thing, we were talking about good qualities. So, Prabhupada, he also explains that. Education, intelligence, or social status alone cannot make a person truly good. Please try to understand this point. See, education, intelligence, or social status alone cannot make a person truly good, which we all think that is needed now. Right? That only is important, we think. And that's why many people don't take to Krishna consciousness. They think education. That's why, how do we train our children also? Study, 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 so that you can earn money, money, money. That's what we train them. If you earn money, you'll get a good wife, then you'll have good status. Like that, we train. If you don't study, you don't get a good job, you will not get married, you will not get a good wife. So all these things they train when they are small. So materially, we give them all this training. Okay, so but all these alone cannot make a person truly good. Only Krishna consciousness can do that. So first point Prabhupada clarifies is academic education is not enough. See, Srila Prabhupada says that a person may be highly educated academically, like with degrees from big, big universities, but still he doesn't have all the good qualities. See, he may know many theories, he may speak very nicely, he may be intelligent, but if you see his actual behavior, he may be selfish, he may be lusty, he may be violent, he may be addicted, he may be more degraded than animals. What is the use of such education if he's having all these qualities? Because why? Because his education is limited. It is limited only to the mind. Okay, mind means what? It is still on the material platform. Means what? His activities remain material and impure. So material means what? Obviously, it's impure. So what we have to understand, see, Prabhupada is not against education. He's saying education without Krishna consciousness is incomplete. See, education we need because uh, we need to maintain this body and soul together. So for which we have to earn money, for which we have to study. For that, education is needed. But he's saying along with education, you need Krishna consciousness. Okay, so we have to know that. See, many people think that I am educated, I am intelligent, I am philosophical. Okay, but all these are in the mind, they remain only till the mind, but there is no change in the heart. So that's why we see highly educated people, they're still addicted to illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxication. So they think that is nowadays, if you see in IT industries or big business people, if you don't drink or you don't gamble or if you don't eat meat for them and maintain all these illicit sex relations, it is like they think it is not culture. Now it's become a culture doing all these things. It's considered great. In fact, if you don't drink, they will look at you like this. If you don't eat meat, they will look at you like this, as if you're doing some great sin. Okay, so these highly educated, they have everything, but they're still on the material platform. That's why these people, they're just still on these. They think that is culture: illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxication, and all that. So all this mental knowledge, okay, alone cannot purify our behavior. That is, this education, it cannot purify our behavior. That's what they're trying to say, because it's still on the material platform, on the mind platform. Okay. And what does Prabhupada say in the purport? Demigod qualities come only from Krishna consciousness. So, what are the qualities of demigods? Self control, cleanliness, truthfulness, mercy, discipline, detachment, good character. Okay, so these qualities we get when we practice Krishna consciousness, like the demigod qualities we get. See, but in the modern world, see, many people are highly educated. Still, they don't accept Krishna consciousness. That's why they can't develop all these higher qualities. Okay? And Srila Prabhupada, he gives an example in the purport. Okay, he says, if there is a Krishna conscious boy, he may not be highly educated by university standards. Okay, a person who is taken to Krishna consciousness, he may not be highly educated, but because he's practicing Krishna consciousness, he gives up illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxication. So we've seen how many Americans from hippies they became happies, and many of Srila Prabhupada's disciples now you see are actually they are Americans. They are totally. I mean, in fact, more devoted than Indians. If you see the Russians, they are so much into Krishna consciousness. And if you see all many of Prabhupada's disciples like Indradimna Maharaj or Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj or Radhanath Swami Maharaj, all are American bodies, but so much into devotional service. Amazing they all are. If you listen to their speeches, they're just mind blowing. Especially Indradimna Maharaj, I keep hearing his speeches, especially every Kartik Parikrama. I keep hearing to Maharaj speeches. He's so much into Vrindavan and all those pastimes. He just lives in Vrindavan. I mean, he's always in Vrindavan or Mayapur. Amazing kirtans he does, amazing pastimes he shares about Vrindavan, about that particular place, Kartik Parikrama he goes. And Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he gives so much importance to devotee care. If you see all his speeches, are more focused on devotee care. See, if you give importance to devotees, automatically everything will happen. See, devotee care means what? Giving love to everybody. When you're loved and when you're felt wanted, obviously you will develop the this thing. When you are loved, you feel like giving, right? When people are giving you so much love, you also want to reciprocate with them, right, in some way or the other. So Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he focuses more on devotee care. So like that, if you see each disciple of Prabhupada, they are into spreading. Like if you see Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he is into book distribution. And if you see Lokanath Swami Maharaj, he is into Padayatra. Each, now if you see Guru Maharaj, Jayapatak Swami Guru Maharaj, he is in preaching, he is into preaching, he wants to establish Namahattas. Preaching, he gives importance. So each disciple, I mean, like they are just born for a purpose. They have a particular purpose. Okay? Okay. So now where are we? We are talking about, see, a Krishna conscious boy, he may not be highly educated, but he because he's taken to Krishna consciousness, he gives up. So all these, what we mean to say is, all these Maharajas or disciples of Prabhupada, they were Americans, they were doing all these activities first. They were doing, maybe, I mean, I'm not sure, I'm just saying, they must have Americans, that's where they eat meat, they may be drinking, they may be gambling, all these they may be doing. But now, they're so pure now. I mean, the concept of Krishna consciousness is so much in them. They do so much of devotional service. They have become now from hippies to happies. Okay? So they've given up. See, a Krishna conscious who is taken to Krishna consciousness, he gives up all these immediately. Maybe he's not highly educated, but he's able to give up all these illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxication. Okay, but at the same time there are many highly educated people who are what now? Drunkards, they are meat eaters, they are sex mongers, they are gamblers, right? We see many of them like that. Rich people, they think that is culture. Okay, so this is the practical proof we can see. It is not at all theoretical. See, if you come into Krishna consciousness and you start meeting with devotees and hear stories of each devotee, it is a new story for you. It's a new lesson for you. Okay, so Prabhupada says that these are all practical proofs of how a Krishna conscious person, he becomes developed in all these good qualities. Just by taking to Krishna consciousness, he develops all these good qualities. Okay, but don't think that you will get them immediately, right? For every time, it depends on the sincerity we do and how much time we are dedicating to Krishna consciousness. It depends on everything. So patience and tolerance is needed. So our duty is just to practice that process, which Prabhupada has given: chanting, hearing, reading, doing devotional service till our very life end. We have to do, we have to practice. There is no retirement in devotional service. Maybe there is retirement in material service, but spiritually there is no retirement. And in fact, as you age, you have to do more service, because at the end of your life, that is your exam, death is your exam, and you have to remember Krishna at that time, right? So you have to be even more strict at that time. There is no retirement. In fact, you have to increase your bhakti more, become more serious. As you age, you become more serious in bhakti. Don't think, oh, I've done so much bhakti all these years, let me relax now. Now I'm not able to do this, that, this. No. Maybe, yeah, by bodily, maybe you may not be able to do services, like doing cooking boga in the temple for you. Like earlier, maybe you were standing and cutting vegetables for 3-4 hours. Maybe now, because you're old, you may not be able to cut. No problem. Earlier, you were doing book distribution, 4-5 hours on the road. You could stand with all the books bag on your shoulders. You could carry. But now, because you're old, you can't. No problem. Don't. You can't. Now you're not able to do prasad and distribution. It's okay. But what you can do, at in your home, so you can sit in a corner. You can chant the Hare Krishna mantra. So that is also service, right? Devotional service. In fact, that is one of the biggest devotional service. Without disturbing others, just sit in a corner. When you're in your old age, don't torment them, or what. Don't irritate your children telling them, take me to this pilgrimage tour. I want to go there. I want to go here. Don't trouble them unless they are very favorable to send you. Don't, because to if you want to go on a pilgrimage tour, it is not so less, right? It costs so much now. To go on a pilgrimage tour just for 3-4 days, it charges around 10,000, right? So it's not possible for everybody to go on a pilgrimage, right? So don't think that if I go on a pilgrimage only, will is it like devotional service, or don't think like that. Whatever is practically possible for you, Krishna sees that. Krishna, basically, he sees your consciousness. That is why Prabhupada named this moment as Krishna consciousness. He didn't say Krishna. He said Krishna consciousness. Wherever you are, if you are in the consciousness of Krishna, that is important. Yeah, it's really nice if you can make it to Vrindavan or Mathura or Dwaraka or Mayapur. If you have the sufficient funding, well and good. It's good if you can go. But in case you're not able to, it's always okay, because their consciousness is important. Because you go to Vrindavan and your consciousness is you're thinking about what is happening here, then what is the use of if you're physically present in Vrindavan also? It is of no use, right? So it's basically the consciousness that is very important. Okay. So, so this we have seen, right? This is practical proof of how a Krishna conscious person, he becomes highly developed in good qualities. He may not be well educated, but just because he's following Krishna consciousness, he comes out of all these bad qualities and he develops all these good qualities. Okay. And Prabhupada also, he explains in the purport that a person who is in Krishna consciousness, he becomes naturally, please listen to this, naturally detached from cinemas, nightclubs, naked dance shows, restaurants, liquor shops. Naturally, he becomes detached, a Krishna conscious, not by force. It's not like, no, I won't see cinemas, no, I won't go to not forcefully. He naturally gets detached from all these movies, nightclubs, naked dance shows, restaurants, liquor shops, and all that. Okay, he does not struggle. Oh, by force he will not say, oh, I'm not able to see movie, I should not see movie because I've joined ISKCON. No, he simply loses interest when you do Krishna consciousness, because your senses are engaged in Krishna. Right, your eyes are used to seeing Krishna, the beautiful figure, form of Krishna. Your tongue is used to taste Krishna prasadam and talking about Krishna, and your ears hear Krishna katha. and your nose in smelling the tulsi or the flowers offered to the Lord. So everything is engaged in service of Krishna. So much you are engaged that you don't feel like going to movies, nightclubs. You feel more attached to the satsangs, and everything feels so nice. So naturally, you lose an interest for all these TV programs. It's not by force. No, 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 I won't see from now on, but no, 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 no movies, no going to restaurants, nothing like that. It becomes natural because your senses are engaged in something higher. All these feel lower. When you get a higher taste, you lose taste for the lower things automatically. Okay, there's no force actually because you've developed that higher taste, you leave all the lower taste. So because of which, when he leaves all these things, he saves his valuable time. See, if you stop watching TV, how much time you save? If you watch reading all these magazines or whatever newspapers, everything, how much time he saves? Okay, he does not waste his life in smoking, drinking, dancing, theater. He does not go sense enjoyment. He does not do. Okay. So, Krishna consciousness, it gives that real freedom from modern distraction. So, by practicing Krishna consciousness, whatever modern distractions are there, which people think is a culture, they are distractions. He's freed naturally by practicing Krishna consciousness. And it's not like he's forcefully controlling, no, naturally. Just by practicing Krishna consciousness, he is away from all these lower tastes. Okay. And Prabhupada also in a purport, he says, Prabhupada strongly criticizes artificial meditation systems. Okay, what does Prabhupada say? He says a person who is not in Krishna consciousness, he cannot sit silently even for half an hour. See, what do some yoga systems say? See, if you become silent, you will realize you are God. But Prabhupada saying maybe they can sit silent for some time, but how long can they sit? Okay, even if they sit, okay, somehow they will manage to sit. But after meditation, what do they do? Again, they return to the old habits, illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxication, and other nonsense activities they will be doing. So, what does this show? This proves that this silence or this meditation, it does not purify our heart. Just by just sitting there and doing meditation, silent meditation, it does not purify the heart, because at the end, after them at most they will try to sit, and after that again they'll go do their normal activities only again as usual. So there is no purification of the heart. So only the purification, natural purification, happens through Krishna consciousness. So, a Krishna conscious person, he does not practice all these artificial meditation, silence. He does not practice forced meditation. What does he do? He just simply chants, he serves, he remembers Krishna. And by doing this, he automatically gives up all these nonsense habits. And purification is natural, gradual, and that is permanent. Okay, so his real character develops without struggle. All you have to do is just practice Krishna consciousness. Everything will automatically come. To sincerely try to do it, the results are automatic. You don't have to struggle artificially or anything like that. Okay, so Prabhupada is telling that, see, one develops the highest character just by becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. So no one, and Prabhupada also says that no one can truly have any good qualities if he is lacking Krishna consciousness. Okay, so what are they trying to say? Rupa Goswami is trying to say education without Krishna consciousness is incomplete. Okay, we need education, but with Krishna consciousness. Okay, because if you just have education, it is just on the platform of mind, which is material. Okay, so it does not purify the heart. You may be having all these lust, the other imperfections, kama, krodha, lobha, mada, matsarya. So your heart is not yet purified. So it can be purified only by practicing Krishna consciousness. So that's why Prabhupada encourages education along with Krishna consciousness. Okay. And second, morality without Krishna consciousness is unstable. And meditation without Krishna consciousness is artificial. So, meditation means what? Just silently sitting. That is also of no use. It does not purify the heart. So, only last, Prabhupada, what is he trying to say? Only Krishna consciousness creates real good qualities, real character, and real purity. Okay. So, what is Prabhupada saying? Krishna consciousness, see, does not make us artificial saints. It makes us naturally good human beings with demigod qualities. Okay. So, this is Shubhada. We develop all the good qualities, all auspiciousness. The main thing is that is the highest welfare activity. And by practicing Krishna consciousness, we get all the demigod qualities. All the other impurities go away, and whatever is required that come. When we develop that higher taste, all the lower taste goes. Okay. So for today, we'll try to stop till here. Shubhada, we finished. So next we'll take Sandran and the remaining four. Next class, we'll try to